All right, all right, all right. Well, it's good. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. It is your girl Tika Deshawn right here. Now, I'm normally sharing these types of videos to Ticah'S Winedown. However, tonight we're also going to be sharing on Instagram as well as All Things Ruthless. I think there's a message that you guys absolutely need to hear. So, with that being said, tonight I would like to introduce to some and present to others the one and only Dr. Boyde Singleton.
Good evening, family. How's everybody doing?
Good evening, and how are you doing?
I'm well. I can't complain. Once again, like I said, I'm honored and humbled to be able to speak here on your platform and to be able to give a message for those that have a ear to listen.
Absolutely, absolutely. With that being said, I normally start my wind down conversations off with just a little notes of gratitude. So, with that, tonight, gratitude turns what we have into enough. Would you do you have an idea of what that would mean to someone? Because to me, gratitude definitely means turning into what we do have, regardless if it's a little or a lot, but turning it into more than enough. So, what would that mean to you?
Like right now, I would like to show my gratitude to the Most High for allowing me to be able to be not just a vessel to be used for the people, but just to be able to show appreciation and love to those that don't know what love is. So, in other words, not just showing it, but doing it by actions.
Right. Definitely, definitely. So listen, gratitude is everything. Without gratitude, we literally have nothing. So I'm
Absolutely.
grateful for every moment, every breath that I take. I'm just grateful. So with that being said, we're gonna dive into this conversation. Before we dive into the specific subject of navigating through grief and loss. Who is Dr. Boyd Singleton?
Yes. Well, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Boyd Jeremiah Singletary. I'm a Bronx native, born and raised in the Bronx. I am a pastor, a bishop, a chaplain, community activist, husband, father, son, and teacher. My hobbies in my spare time, I like to cook, read, and also feed the homeless and help people in need. Right now, we living in a time where we're able to do these different things and come out. So now it's time to just reach out more to people. So in my spare time, what I love to do is try to meet the needs of those, especially those that have losses, and especially those that have lost loved ones. We're doing new things to help families, special in need. So that's what we're doing now. And I feel at this particular moment that God has not only shown me something new, but my mother been preparing me for this since a young child, and now I see everything coming to full tuition.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So again, you guys, just as I stated before, and I apologize for messing up your name. I did indeed mean
You fine?
Singletary.
No, you
Um,
fine. You
but
good?
you're definitely again a man, a servant that wears many hats. That's rare. That does not come along, and you attribute that through your mom. She's the person that kind of started you off, as a young man, into be living this life that you're living now, and that is a life of serving the Most High. Um,
Correct.
so there, I saw this flyer. This is literally a literal resume right there online for everyone to view, and then find if there's something in there that they need to, uh help with. Then this looking at this looks like you're the one that they need to be reaching out to.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about you being an anger management specialist, life coach, as well as the grief specialist.
Yes. So with the anger management, my my profession, I have over 18 years of working with children at risk and also with youth development in different capacities. So throughout my years of working with children and working with different dynamics, different urban areas, and just different ethnic cultures and background, you learn and see a lot of things working with the youth, whether it be youth that's going through trauma, whether it be youth that's coming from emotional issues, or whether it be youth that's dealing with mental health illness and issues. So by working with the youth and also being able to love what I do, I begin to develop patience. Patience is very important when you're working with children and when you're working in a different capacity. That's very important. So that's how I came about working with the youth and also helping them with their anger and helping them channeling their anger.
Right.
Started out originally as a volunteer and after school program as a youth helping youth, and then working my way up to the top, the group leader to assistant program director. Actually became a program director, and then went into a different field by working with the children and gang violence, gang awareness, also in the juvenile facilities and things of that nature, and then elevating more to now working with children with trauma.
Mm.
So that's where the anger management come, and also being able to have and being afforded to have the opportunity to become a life skills and teach them life skills and teach them new alternative things outside of gangs and outside of guns and violence and drugs and etc. And then with developing that, I also was able to work with youth with substance abuse, okay, dealing with issues with drugs, different types of drugs, and then learning more about the different type of drugs and substance abuse and things that our children was going through and in and out, not realizing that there was a large population of young youth in and out of the shelters.
Right, gotcha. So do you find that it's harder working with the children, or is it just because it's such a passion of yours, you don't find it difficult at all to work with children in that manner versus working with an adult that may come into your life and ask you for any type of advice or anything like that?
Well, on the clinical aspect, it's always challenging.
Mm,
On the spiritual aspect, we can do all things through Christ who strengthen us.
correct.
So throughout the years and throughout learning and experience and being able to be a good listener and a good follower, you begin to learn dynamics that the more and more that you continue to just sometimes listen, let them speak and just observe, you begin to learn more things about each youth or resident or whatever setting that the title or term may be. And the same also working with adults, depending on what capacity that you're working with adults.
Got it. Absolutely. So listening, and that's where all the patience comes in. And as you stated, through Christ, all things are possible. So I absolutely I like that. Now on the grief side, and I'm not gonna, because I know you offer consultation, so I'm not gonna take all of what I'm not gonna take everything away from your job. But I would like you to share with us, someone comes to you, they say they're dealing with grief. What is the first step that you offer to that person?
Well,
Oh,
first and foremost, when a person comes with grief, we gotta understand that grief is a very, very large subject and matter. Grief and loss do go hand in hand, but also have to understand that there's different types of grief and different levels of grief. A person may come with a grief of losing a pet. Person may have come with grief of losing a loved one. There's different levels of grief and different capacities of grief. You understand? And sometimes it can be overwhelming and very overwhelmingly emotional for people. So we have to meet the people where they at and understand that when you're dealing with grief and loss, grief is something that just does not go away. You have to work on and heal as the time continues to go by with the grief, dealing with people. 'Cause remember, everyone's not religious, everyone's not spiritual,
Right.
everyone is not looking for a sermon. Everyone is not looking always for a preacher or a pastor. They're looking for not just a clinician, but looking for someone that can relate and someone that can understand and overstand what it is they're dealing with at that particular time. This is why counseling and working with someone that's dealing with grief is not just going to take one day. It may take time, months, numerous sessions, so we can be able to get from point A to point B and be able to come back to the dynamics of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've out. You're muted.
I'm sorry about that.
That's
That was
okay.
that was the
No
phone.
worries.
Yeah,
No worries. No
I'm here.
worries. Yeah, so absolutely. So I've said that many times that grief definitely is different. It could be like you said, a loss of a loved one, a loss of a pet, but it can also be a loss of a job. It could be a loss
Correct.
of a relationship. Like grief comes in so many different levels. I right now I work as a patient care assistant. So I sit with people who are terminally ill, passing away. And as a person who has literally dealt with grief or is dealing with grief, because this is all a healing for all of us. Um, I just my thing, and I always let everybody know, hey, I am no professional. I've just been through some stuff, and I know what helps me. Now, everything that helps me may not be able to help you. You may need that professional that can really give you all of the tools that you need to receive that help. So, say I'll give you just one example. Say I come to you and say, I just lost my father. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I want to live. I don't know left from my right. Dr. Boyd, Singletary, help me. And where would you go from there?
Well, first, I have to acknowledge the fact that you just lost your father or whoever the person is. I have to first acknowledge that. Secondly, I have to also meet you where you at. Okay, because again, it could be on the phone. This could be in person. You never know what mental state a person may be, especially when they bring in that type of news.
Right,
Even though it might have been last year, it might have been last month, it's still fresh. Okay, it's still fresh. So the morning stages can last for months. Generally, it's a pain. Okay, that's tempered by the time, and the more and more the time passes, the more and more the bereavement adapts to that individual's way of living and way of lifestyle. Okay, and at that particular time, you losing your father, I can also relate because I just lost my father. Okay, last year. So it's the pain, the memories, the instance. It doesn't get better. It's just the longer and longer. It's like the days is longer. It's like you don't know where the time goes because time do it flies by. But that particular thing, when that's a significant and very sensitive topic, so you have to deal with that delicately. And me as a doctor within that field and as a professional in that field, I really have to meet you where you at and go through the different levels and stages of the core before
right,
you can get and overcome. Now, a person may never get over the grief of the passing of their loved one, but they can learn to cope with it. We're not breaking the rules, we're bending it. So in time, those emotional wounds will heal,
right,
those physical wounds will heal, but it takes time and it takes a patience to work, and let's get through this together, because now that you open the scope, now we gotta both work with it together. And sometimes with this particular thing, we gotta continue to walk together and move together. So a lot of exercises, of course. And when I say exercise, a lot of different things. Okay, a lot of meditation. Okay, a lot of affirmations. Okay, if it's spiritual, a lot of prayers. Okay, so and also too, you mentioned hospice. That's one of the most, and I tip my hat to people like you, especially those that work in hospice, because hospice being the last stages, situations with dealing with the grief and with going through these different things. So
Right.
even me as a chaplain, I also train chaplains that work in the hospice, in the hospitals, especially these stages dealing with grief. And it could be any particular person, because this is universal.
Right.
So everyone's not Christian, everyone's not Hebraic, everyone is not a believer. There's different people that have different walks of life, different cultures, different religions. So anyone that's dealing with grief, no matter what race, creed, color, whatever, you still have to be able to give a service, and you still have to be able to give them the attention that they need to help them get through this difficult time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, you guys, for those of you that are just, as I say, tapping in or tuning in, we are here with Dr. Boyd Singletary. He's giving us some jewels as to how, just some steps that he would take as a life coach, as a grief specialist. You know, he's just giving us a few jewels to kind of help us maneuver through any grief or any loss that we are dealing with. We've also covered, so if you're just tapping in and you missed something, make sure you go back, hit that replay button, because he broke it down for us very, very precise. And I'm absolutely enjoying this conversation. Now, there are a few programs that you're currently working with. I noticed there was a post that said if you were interested in getting your high school diploma. Could you tell me a little bit more about what that is and how that helps? I mean, I know how it will help the community, but who it helps?
Right. So the high school diploma program I work with came from one of my mentors, okay, a visionary, okay. I say visionary because he was a man with a vision, okay.
Right,
And he started this school many years ago with $20, okay. And he had a seed, he had a vision, he put it in the ad. Because at that time, a lot of people, and still today, most people are stagnated. Most people are frustrated because they're not able to pass a lot of these New York State and a lot of these different standardized tests. Okay, a lot of these comprehensive, Common Core, a lot of these GED, okay, quote unquote, in layman terms. So a lot of people are not passing these exams. And a lot of people that have been out of school for so long, and a lot of people are not just test savvy. A lot of people are not good test takers. So
right,
if you don't have your GED, high school diploma, you're not able in certain jobs now and in certain levels of capacity to excel in your career and to excel in your education. So this program came about to help those that were in need and help those that needed the extra tutoring to be able to move to the next level and not feel stagnated. And since then, since the vision he has had for the over the past 18 years, we have had over 40,000 graduates and counting. And
oh
people were
wow,
able to move forward within their career, go to college, go to school. So this is the program we have for anybody. And it's not just New York, not just New Jersey. It's
right,
all throughout the world because we have many satellite schools. And even with people that's not even English savvy, we have also ESL, we have also Spanish, Haitian, French, different languages, because we have now different teachers from all over the world that have came and have wanted to participate in helping
right.
not just us meet our goal, but helping that person that didn't have a second chance now be able to have a second chance to walk through that stage and be able to finish what they started.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. That is awesome. You literally find in bits and pieces programs such as this, but rarely does it last as long as the program that you're a part of have that it lasts? That's been what you said, over 18 years.
18 years. 18
Wow,
years.
18 years plus of helping people. And so how can, if someone is interested in that particular program, how can they reach out to you, or how can they reach out and sign up?
They can reach out to me personally through my email or me on social media. I am an educational recruiter as well. They can reach out to me, or they can even reach out to the school. We have the school website, Philip Global Institute. They can go on the website and look it up, and they can also call in for ortho consultation and learn more about the tutoring, and learn more about the tuition, and learn more about how they can become a high school graduate, and also how they can also look into being able to go into college, and also able to learn about job placement and work readiness.
Right. Absolutely. Well, wow. Listen, there is no excuse at this point, you guys. If you're someone that is seeking your high school diploma, um, it's right here. The information is right here for you guys. Dr. Boyd has laid it down. Dr. Singletary has literally laid it out, and he has the plan for you guys. All you have to do is simply reach out. I'm sure that is the criteria. However, once that criteria is met, you become part of something that's great, and you become your life can literally change with, if it's the high school diploma that you need, that you need to take another step within your life. The program is right here for y'all, so there's no excuse for anyone to not have their high school diploma at this point. So
Absolutely. They 18 and up, 18 all the way up to 100 years old, they qualify.
wow. Wow, yeah, no excuse, no excuse,
No
guys.
discrimination whatsoever. Anybody can call.
Absolutely, absolutely. Before we continue, I just want to say hello to everyone that is tuning in with us over on Instagram. Hello, Avante. Hello, Sandy. Hello, Tina. Hello, Derek. Hello, Daria. Thank you all so much for tapping in and listening, just listening. I know this is something different. You guys are used to listening and watching the show Ruthless. However, tonight we just wanted to take these life skill situations, these things, this grief and everything that everyone tends to go through. We just wanted to take it a step further. Um, let's see. Let me look, because I'm looking at this. Literally is a resume. Like, I can go down the list of things that your career um entails. You got relationship problems on there, like divorce, okay, road rage, like, yeah, you literally cover everything. Now I'm gonna just kind of backtrack a little bit. What type of training, or what type of program did you go through to obtain these particular certifications?
Yes. So I'm glad you asked that. As you go in your life, going to school, you get options, you get choices. So just to give you a little background, I hold several degrees. I have 2 degrees in business from Monroe College, associates, business administration, because at that time I wanted to take up accounting, but I switched. Then went moving forward, received a BA, bachelor's in business management and a minor in human resources. I thought I wanted to do that. However, that wasn't the case. End up working with children. So you would figure like, okay, well, since he's working with children, education, maybe a bachelor's in social work, something with that. But as you moving forward in education and you learn things, okay, I do recommend college for people. I also do recommend secondary also programs as well, because not every successful person went to college, and there's a lot of different things that I'm learning now that I wish I knew 17 years ago. And like I said, you live with the cards that's dealt. You make your own decisions, and as you make your own decisions, you live with your decisions. Moving forward, this lifestyle, I'm gonna be clear. I never wanted to be a man dealing in ministry. I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to do R&B. I wanted to be a movie star. That's what I wanted to do. I actually pursued that career some years back. Okay, and then the different times I pursued it, every time I got there was always different things that didn't allow me to get so. Sometimes you have to understand you can have a goal, a dream, and the vision set, but if it's not God's plan, it's not going to happen. Okay, and just moving forward, my mother had prophesied this years ago as a child. I didn't want to see it. I ran from it. And then one thing about the Most High, the Creator God, our Heavenly Father, when He wants your attention, He gonna get your attention. And your arms is not big enough to box with God. So either you gonna get down or you gonna lay down. So I end up having to submit. And then from there, God changed my understanding. God changed my walk. Um, Speaking about grief and things like that, um, I was I suffered from a lot of different suicidal ideations when I was younger. When I was 9 years old, I was hit by a van and dragged 7 to 8 car lanes. I used to wear masks for several years. I had 2 reconstruction surgeries, 1 plastic surgery. So I know about grief. I know about depression. I know about stress. I know about trauma. So throughout the years of my mother praying, and at the time my father and them had family supporting, and also God leading me and keeping me all this time.
Right.
I'm thankful for that. So this
Right.
is how all this thing came about. And I've been pastoring for over 17 years. I've been in ministry for 27 years and I've been a bishop for 14 years. And
Wow.
my all my life, all I know is death, hospitals, funerals. So
Mm.
being prepared for this job, with not even knowing that this was already preparing me, because my mother was going to the hospitals praying for people and doing her ministry, and she would always take me along. And this is
Mm.
how I learned, and this is how I became about. I've been to over 400 funerals in my lifetime, and I've done over 286 and
Wow.
counting. Not
Wow.
just preaching it, but
Right.
also being able to be of service. And what I'm noticing now, not trying to get off topic, sis, but
No.
you asked the question. So
Right.
as a people, a lot of our people don't have life insurance.
Mm.
And that's the problem because a lot of our loved ones are passing away, leaving their family members with the burden of having to put money up to bury them. And I
Right.
have experienced, I have seen many different families that have not had life insurance, and it has been a struggle. So I have decided to become now a funeral liaison to help people and to point people in different directions of not just helping them get life insurance and teaching them about death benefits and wills and trust funds and how to incorporate these arrangements, uh,
Right.
all these different type of arrangements, emergency arrangements, planning the funerals, all these different things we have to have intact because we never know when it be our last day or when the doors start knocking. So we want to make all these proper preparations before we leave this earth. And now what we're doing is we're helping families because we shouldn't be having to have families do GoFundMe accounts, but that's what we're doing now. So we want to get our people out of the norm of doing GoFundMe and just taking a few dollars a month, getting the premium, getting the death benefit plan, getting life insurance that they can be able to not just borrow from, but be able to leave an inheritance for his family. The scripture teaches us that a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So this is how this came about.
Absolutely.
I hold a master's degree, a master's in divinity from Anointed by God Theological Seminary. I've also taught in seminary as well. I've also been to several biblical institutes throughout the New York City tri-state area, and I hold a doctorate of divinity from Chatsworth, California International Theological Seminary. So this is how these things came about. And with that being said, with working with the children and also with working with people of all walks of life, I became a humanitarian. I received the honorary doctorate of humanitarian from the Kingdom Bible Institute of Arizona in Little Rock, Arkansas. So they
Wow.
had these different trainings,
Right.
especially with becoming a grief specialist, also with becoming, and there's different Christian. Let me just put it out there for people that don't know. Not only do secondary universities have these trainings, a lot of Christian Judeo, and a lot of Hebraic theological seminaries and coalitions and parishioners. They have these trainings that you can obtain to be in this particular field. A lot of clinical. There's different type of chaplains too, and different levels of chaplains. So
Right.
the higher you go in chaplaincy, para chaplain, clinical chaplain, crisis chaplain, all different type of chaplains. This is where it goes. And also for anyone that want to become a funeral home chaplain or even the honor guard chaplain, dealing with the veterans and service members, that is something that I have done and put in place. Okay, in my father's honor, who I lost my father last year. He
Oh, wow.
also was a veteran who served this country. So this is something that I put in place for him. And I also know that a lot of retired veterans are not really getting their just due. And I've noticed a lot of homeless veterans and a lot of veterans that's not really getting treated. A lot of our veterans that have went through the war and have been in the war and have came home, a lot of them have not been getting the spiritual and clinical counseling and therapy that they need.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow, you just said a lot and I got a couple of comments on a lot that you just said. But first of all, thank you for I'm a veteran as well, but thank you for helping veterans. That's very important. Um Veterans do a lot for this country. The average person that has never had to deal with a vet in any shape, form, or fashion, whether they didn't know one, whether they never went into the military themselves, veterans go through a lot. So for you to take on and challenge, yourself to be able to help veterans is an awesome, very awesome thing, and I absolutely appreciate you for that.
And thank you for your
Also,
service.
thank oh you're welcome. And salute to your father. It's clear that your father meant a whole lot to you because to go from taking something in his honor to be able to help other veterans, that's amazing as well. Now let's slide back a little bit to the life insurance because that is extremely, extremely important. How can people reach out to you in regards to that particular, it'll say, hey, I not me because my somebody made sure I had insurance, but if somebody were to say, hey, I don't have any kind of insurance, what's the maximum I can get, what's minimum I can get, what's the cheapest payment I can get, or how would you approach an individual with that situation?
Well, the person will have to, if they're interested, and not just getting life insurance for themselves and also for their family, they can contact me directly through my email, which you have up there, and they can also contact me in the number that you have up there, and we can speak, and I can give them a consultation and give them a quote, and also find out what would be the best need for them and their family.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Financially, I know listen, I know a lot of us have a lot of financial issues, so
Right.
we want to be able to not just get them the best quote, but see, the thing about it is we want to explain to them the policy that they're getting. A lot
Right.
of people are getting policies, don't know what policy they're getting. They're just signing up and not realizing what they're getting and what it's worth. And a lot of them not realizing the difference between what's a beneficiary, what's a owner, all these different terms that we want to educate our people with. So I know back in the day they was just going door to door, they was going to the homes. Now we have Zoom, now we have all these different things. So it's very important to do these, not just these pop-up shops, but to do these different programs so people can come in, they can ask the questions, and we can actually answer the questions for them. That way they don't feel like they're being rushed or feel like somebody's hand is in their pocket. But this is very important because you live and you learn a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because a lot of people don't know what the difference was a whole life and term life. A lot of them don't know that one of those policies they can actually obtain money from while they're still alive. And see, if they knew that, not saying that they're going into that policy just to be able to take money out, but at least they'll know that that is an option at some point that you could actually use if you decide you want to contribute to purchasing a home, or you want to you got some bills that you need to pay off. Like, you're literally with these insurance policies, you're literally paying into your life, not just your afterlife. And of course, you have the beneficiaries that you want to take care of. However, still be able to take care of yourself. And again, these policies, these guys, I went through someone and he's not lying about it. You can get it to where it's very affordable. You don't have to break the bank to get an insurance policy anymore, you guys. So I'm just saying, Dr. Boyd, Mr. Singletary, Dr. Singletary, Bishop Singletary, he has so many titles, you guys, but he is literally giving you guys the jewels, the keys, the tools to maneuvering through life. And I'll leave it at that. But I am definitely, if you have a specific link that you want to share, just you can DM that to me. And I will make sure that I provide it at the end, or once this live is complete, I'll make sure I put it in the description of the actual video. So that way people can, even if it's a month from now, 2 months from now, they can come back and refer to that link, go to meet up with you, connect with you, and they'll be able to get, that information.
Now,
And
not to cut you, because you just said
no
something.
worries.
You just said something that So there's some people, depending on the age bracket, that certain insurance companies won't give them
Right,
insurance
right,
because of different underlying issues, etc., and things of that nature as well. So I just want to just say to that, there's new programs now. See, there's so many programs out that if you don't know about it, they won't tell you about it.
right,
Okay? So they also have what you call pre-funeral planning, where you can start paying money to a particular funeral home of your choice, where your money is secure, and God forbid, when that time does arrive, there's money that was in your will and there's money that was set for you to be put away properly. A
right,
lot of people are now doing that because a lot of them have got dropped, and certain insurance companies, you gotta take certain tests, you gotta get certain blood work done, certain things done, and a lot of them are not being serviced, and then that also causes frustration, and people feel stagnated with that, so they don't want to do it no more. Even with older people, senior citizens that don't
right,
have no loved ones, because some senior citizens, some family members that don't have children, they'll leave their inheritance and stuff to their pets, their dogs, because again, the animals, the pets, the significant, it's like a family to them. But then
right,
you have some that don't have children in the family. So what happens is that a lot of times the senior citizens, they'll sell their life insurance policy to a third party. This is why different companies like Peachtree, J.G. Whitworth have all this
mhm,
money, because what they're doing is they're taking the policy that was 200,000, 400,000, and they're turning it to 4 million. And this is how they're able to loan people's money, hard-earned money, to other people, and they're making profit of it, because a lot of people are now selling their life insurance policies because they don't have no one to leave it to. So if they don't sell it to somebody or do something with it with all the money, then it goes back to you know who, especially if you don't
right.
have no one that you left as a beneficiary or someone to leave as a co-owner to that. You don't.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy because there was the what was that JG Whitworth that commercial that you would always see on television, and I'm like, well, where are they getting the money from, and how are they got? But you literally just broke it down how all of that really really truly works. Again, y'all, he spent some jewels out here, some information that is absolutely necessary. And the comments are coming in that you're giving out some great information, and what you're saying is so true. So we definitely got to stay on point with having these insurance policies, even if it's just burial information or burial policies, pre-planned funeral homes. That way, whenever your time comes, it may be 10 years from now, maybe 100 years from now, but whenever your time comes, your family is not left to figure out oranges from apples.
Yes.
So very very important, very very important. Listen, Dr. Singletary, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. Is there anything else you want to share with us before I let you go? Because I 100% absolutely appreciate you for coming, being a part of this conversation, and just spreading some good information. We didn't just deal with grief and loss tonight. We learned about the importance of insurance policies. We learned how you can get your high school diploma diploma if you're lacking one. We also learned about the mental health, basically the mental health situation in a whole as far as anger management goes. So, is there anything else you would like to share with us?
I just want to just thank you once again for allowing me to speak on your platform. I love what you're doing. I see what you're doing. You're doing a lot of excellent works in and behind on the scenes, and even for you to take the opportunity to invite me on here, we want to do it. And if anybody that's living in the New York area that's in Brooklyn tomorrow, I'll send you the link. I'll send you the flyer. I'll be preaching in Brooklyn tomorrow, in downtown Brooklyn. Anyone wants to come, they're more than welcome to come. And there's a lot of different programs that they could get. You understand? The time is at 3:30. The flyer is up. I'll post it as well. And we're also serving dinner before and after. 'Cause I know a lot of
Okay.
people like to eat. So
Right. Right.
people here, there's food there, church food there. People love to come, but but to each his own. I'm thankful. I'm honored. I'm humble for this opportunity. And I hope to see you again and also be on again for another topic or whatever discussion is needed. And anyone that wants to contact me or speak to me directly about things that they might have wanted to hear or learn
Right.
or wanted more insight on, they can feel free to contact me. They can follow me on Instagram at Chef Boy's Kitchen. That's my catering page. They can follow me on my Facebook at Boyd Jeremiah Singletary. They can follow me on YouTube at Pastor Boyd Singletary, and I'm there. They can follow me,
Absolutely.
they can contact me, and everything that they need.
Absolutely, absolutely. This will not be the last time we have a conversation. I can assure you of that. I absolutely love everything that you're doing. Shout out to your family for allowing us to have this conversation. I absolutely appreciate it because it's late. So I really do appreciate your family as well as you for coming through and giving us these amazing jewels that we absolutely needed. With that being said, I want to thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will make sure again, I will make sure that I include every link, your Instagram, your Facebook. I'll include all of that in the description of this live, or it'll be a video after the fact. But I'll make sure I include all of that information. And y'all go out and have some church service and get a plate. Like get a plate. They giving out food and a
Free
good
food.
message.
Free
Free
food.
food and a message. So
Right.
please head on out.
Especially
Head
if
on
you're in the New
out
York City area. Yes, we
in
we
the New
love to
York
have you.
City area.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Singletary. I absolutely appreciate you. And you and your family have an amazing night.
You too. Have a blessed night.
All
Shalom.
righty.
Take care.
All right. You too. All right, you guys, that is it. Your girl just had to do something. I needed to do something a little bit different. Yes, this is on Ticah'S Winedown channel as well. So if you have not yet followed me or subscribed to the Ticah'S Winedown channel, please, please, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so that you will be reminded of new content that will be coming soon. Ticah'S Winedown. And for my people that are checking in on that All Things Ruthless channel, yes, I know I threw y'all off tonight with something different, but it was a much needed conversation. So please make sure you guys check out this video if you came in late. Go back and watch it. Type in that replay gang. Y'all know how y'all do. Or type in wind down gang. It is what it is. With that being said, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I absolutely appreciate you all. And you all just have an amazing, awesome night. Thank you to Mika's Den for tapping in. Thank you, Monique69 Waves, for tapping in. Shout out to the IG gang. Thank you guys for tapping in. I saw Mr. Lex Laletta. Listen, I need Mr. Lex to come through. We got some ruthless stuff to talk about at some point. Thank you, Derek, for tapping in. I absolutely appreciate you. Make sure you guys subscribe to Derek Scott over at 2111 Radio. Shout out to Avante. Thank you for tapping in. Shout out to Sandy Love. Shout out to Daria. Shout out to Tamiko. You guys were literally over here on IG as well as Facebook, and and YouTube. And I absolutely appreciate you all for tapping in and tuning in and hanging out with your girl for a little while. With that being said, y'all have a blessed night, and your girl is out of here.